My instant death ability episode 7. And sorry in advance if I'm all over the place when talking about this episode review, but as always and with this anime, there are a lot of things happening, characters popping in and out of existing, I guess you can say that. You have a lot of action, you have a lot of random moments, so yeah, it is pretty hard to speak in a forward straight line. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And in this episode, we finally saw the whole Sword Master trial come to an end. And it actually ended way different than I thought it was going to end, because at the beginning I thought it was going to end normally, you know, that the challengers, I guess you can call them that, were going to end the trial by them surpassing some stages, trials. Then after all of that, one of them was going to become the Sword Master. That was actually not the case, because as we saw in this episode, it was actually all the opposite. The whole Sword Master trial came to an end very, I guess you can say, quickly, because I mean, from one scene to another, they were doing the trial, and the next thing you know, now they're fighting a dark god or a god or an enemy. So yeah, that surprised me a lot, because I thought they were going to go straight forward with that, but I guess not. And we also saw who was the new Sword Master. I forget his name, but it was the one that was wearing the gold armor. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but I actually don't name names, and that is for a simple reason. The reason being that in this anime you have, like I said at the beginning, characters coming in and out of existence from one episode to another. So yeah, I don't think there's really a point in learning the names of certain characters, because again, from one episode to another they die. So overall, I don't feel like it is necessary to do that. So I will describe the characters that appear in the episode as the guy with the pink hair, or as the girl with the weird looking face, because yeah, again, they probably will die in the next episode, so I don't think that will be necessary. But yeah, like I was saying, the trial ended with them battling out a dark god. At the beginning I thought this dark god was the one that was sealed inside with the other person, but yeah, at first I thought it was the dark god that was inside there, sealed, but it turned out that, you know, it was not actually him. And before I found out about that, I was a little bit confused, because I thought that Takatou had killed the dark god, so I was wondering what the dark god was doing there, you know, fighting the Sword Master and things like that. So yeah, I was a little bit confused before it got revealed that, oh, it was not actually the dark god all along, it was actually another person. And yeah, the dark god did actually get killed, because when he was unfrozen by the goddess, I mean, yeah, he was actually dead, because he just straight up fell to the river or the water. So yeah, I think my theory that Takatou had killed the dark god in the previous episodes was right, because even though it wasn't said explicitly that Takatou had killed the god, I mean, it was almost sort of implied that that was the case, and we saw in this episode that yeah, it was actually like that. So yeah, basically when it was unfrozen, the dark god failed, and everyone was surprised by that, and even Tanora was surprised by that, even though she already knew that it was, you know, Takatou the one that did that. And because of that, basically everything goes, I guess you can say, well after that, because Takatou is there and kills all the monsters and one of the assistants or lackeys, whatever you want to call it, of the dark god. And funnily enough, he doesn't kill the goddess that is going on a rampage. He says that because she doesn't pose a threat to him, she's not necessarily targeting him, so he doesn't do that. I thought he was actually going to kill her, but I mean, he doesn't do that. But she did end up, you know, being dead at the end of the episode, because it was the Sword Master that killed her. And as it turns out, that goddess was not actually good. I thought, you know, when she was introduced in the previous episode, that maybe she was good, perhaps a little bit goofy, but you know, as it turns out, she was not good, because in this episode we basically see her siding with the enemy. I mean, I guess it kinda makes sense, because we learned that she was actually the wife or the girlfriend, I don't know exactly what she was, of the dark god. So I guess it makes sense that she was siding with the enemy, although she wasn't actually really the, you know, the ally we all thought she was. So it is not really siding with the enemy when you think about it. It is more that she was always bad and we just didn't know about it. So I guess that is the most correct way to say it. Another interesting thing we learned in this episode was that the girl that was with Danora and Takatou was actually trying to find her sister. In the previous episode, I was wondering why she looked so much like the girl that was with Lane, and as it turns out, it is because she's actually the sister of the one that was with Takatou and Danora. So I guess it kind of makes sense why they were so much alike, and that is because they were simply sisters. So yeah, I don't know what exactly is going to happen with that. We don't know what happened with the other sister, the one that was with Lane, because as we all know, the red hair Lane died, and we don't know what happened to the girl that was with her. Did she perhaps leave? Is she going to follow the new Lane, the one that awoke? Although she's not really Lane, but at the same time she isn't. I think I discussed this in the second, third, or fourth episode review, something like that, that the new Lane is a clone of the previous Lane, that although it is her. At the same time, she isn't because she doesn't have her memory. So yeah, I don't know what is going to happen with that girl that was with her. Maybe she is with her. Maybe she left. Maybe she's doing something else. But I mean, who knows what will happen with that. Although, to be honest, there's also the possibility that we're not going to see the two sisters anymore because again, in this anime you have people coming in and out of existing, people dying, people leaving. So yeah, I don't know if that is going to happen or not because this anime is very wild in terms of that. By the way, something surprising and also pretty funny that happened in this episode was that we saw Aoi finally arrive to Takatou. And what did she do when she was there? Well, she basically was scared because as soon as she realized what Takatou was, she basically ran away, which was pretty funny because I thought she was going to be a little bit more of a threat, but as it turns out, that was far from being the case. It wasn't even close. I mean, she didn't have a chance in defeating Takatou. And the end of the episode was actually pretty weird. We saw that the sage Shion actually summoned a person that Takatou knows. That person that she summoned wasn't actually named, but that person looks a lot like Takatou, although that could just be a coincidence. It could just be, you know, the person that was with him in the lab, a sort of doctor or something like that, because although he has some resemblance to him, it could just be the anime trying to confuse us, trying to make us think that he's a family member, maybe his father, uncle, or something like that, or maybe he was actually a family member. I guess we'll have to wait and see in the next episode. But yeah, that was a pretty weird scene because he mentioned that he now knows why Takatou has those powers, because he realizes that there is another dimension or world. So I guess after all, Takatou did actually receive his powers in this world. I don't know how exactly that works, but yeah, that was pretty much everything that happened in the episode. If you don't want to miss any episode reviews, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, that will be everything by me, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.